What's up, everybody? We just got our big old pile of parts from PRL Motorsports for our Civic Type R, and we want to get those on the car. But before we do, we want to get some baseline dyno numbers. So I'm here in front of the car. We're about to run over to our friends at On3 Performance. They've got a dyno. We're going to get some baseline numbers and then throw some parts on the car. For those of you who haven't heard of On3, which should be few of you, they're an aftermarket performance company that make forced induction turbo kits for GM and Ford products, as well as Dodge now. Their tuner and fabricator is Bob Morrison. He has taken really good care of us in the past on things like the ZL1, Cade's G8, and just a few other projects with friends of ours. So let's get in there, get Bob, and get this thing on the dyno, see what she does. So have you ever run one of these before?
I have not, actually.
306 from the factory advertised.
Okay.
What do you think? What's your guess?
This dyno's kind of a heartbreaker, so maybe 280 something.
Yes.
Probably.
All right, here we go. Let's see what she does. Looks like high 200s. Do anything weird?
Yeah, I hit the limiter at 6,900 to 1,800.
Peek on that guy. 22.3 according to that.
290.
Nice.
There's definitely some power on there though.
Yeah. One of our dealers does tunes on these, and they said you gain like 15% just with a tune, nothing. So, I mean.
That's why I'm looking at that. Totally up to you. You can let it cool. I can leave this running for a minute. We can pull
Sure,
it
that's
in,
fine.
But I would love to mess with it.
Well, here's your chance.
Yeah.
I'll bring it back with some parts on it. We'll see what we can do. The only thing I'd like to do is just switch that over to IAT after a few pulls, and then let's see what it does with the stock intercooler. Yep.
About as long as the first run, it's
Okay.
not as long as the second run.
Gotcha.
I'm sure it's not such one time.
Sure. I want to switch this over to intake air temp 2. It'll say air 2. Air 1, air 2.
I think it made more. 295.8 maybe?
Dude, nice.
Yeah.
That's higher than all our gases.
This was 85 at the start of the run.
Okay.
So it was like bounced between
100.
83 and 85,
Nice.
so
Cool.
that's really not
What is
hateful.
it, 45 out? Something like that?
Yeah, it'll say on here. I can look, but yeah, it's probably close to that.
Cool. What'd you say, 295.8?
Yeah, bottom number.
What are your thoughts on this thing then, as a platform?
Yeah, I think that's killer for a stock vehicle.
Yeah. You said that having that intake pipe coming right across the turbo is not good.
Yeah, I think it's definitely kind of
Interesting.
It's got to be hot whenever that hood's closed.
pulling heat from the engine. Yeah.
If you could get it away from there, that'd probably be a big deal.
All right, well, I'll see how the new one is. I know the new one, I think it's about the same, but it's not cast and it's thinner, so maybe that'll pick you up better, just maybe not hold it as long. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Bob's been awesome as always, taking care of us, getting this set up, and then we are going to go grab some parts and head back to the shop, start putting things on it. Thanks, Bob. That surprised all of us, especially since that dyno is a very conservative dyno. I think several of our cars ran maybe 60 horsepower low on that dyno compared to like a dyno jet locally or whatever. Pretty impressive. Awesome stuff there. Bob's excited about the car. He says it's a great platform, and we're already kind of picking apart little places we can improve, and I'm sure the PRL parts are going to do a lot of that for us as well. We are back at P3HQ. Couple revelations that we learned on the dyno. One, which is really handy, is this car does not like to be on a dyno. This thing was lit up like a Christmas tree, power steering faults, TPMS faults, hill assist, everything you can think of faults. Didn't like it, but quick little code clear with the gauge, just like so. And then boom, everything went away. I drove it all the way back to the shop. It still wasn't happy. Normally those things clear out. But anyways, just a note for you guys on the dyno with your Hondas or maybe your other cars that got dyno stuff going on. Do a quick code clear with your V3. Good to go. The second thing that we discovered was our back tires are absolutely smoked. Let me see if I can get you up in here. Those things, I'm gonna turn you sideways. Completely bald, and then up on that inner side, there's some cords showing. So that would explain our sketchiness. I think this tire issue might be exaggerated by a bad alignment because these tires were not that bad when we got this car. Middle of last year, put a few thousand miles on it. By now, they should not have worn out that fast. So I think we're gonna need an alignment, which brings us over to these beautiful wheels supplied to us by Vivid Racing. Now we called up Dan at Vivid and said, we're looking for a set of wheels of another type. And he said, I can hook you up on those, but we've got our own wheels and I'd love to give you a killer deal on them. So he gave us their catalog looked. We picked out these D03Rs. Here's the specs on those. And they're gonna fit on this car so nicely. It's an 8.5-inch wheel, 18 inches in diameter. And we're going with those to get rid of these 20s that just have little rubber bands on them. And we are going to throw on a set of Firestone Indy 500s. I believe they are 265, 35, 18. So we should have some good meats on those. That's a great cheap tire. Matt's run on his 135. And that we've run on our Golf R. Great tread wear, great grip, all around great tire. And then we're gonna couple that with these white line springs that have been supplied to us by PRL. We're gonna do all this together, run down the street, get an alignment, and just really set the stance of this car the way we feel it should be, because something to be desired with the factory stance of this car. These wheels are just so tucked up in there. Let's get these tires off, let's get the springs off, get everything swapped over, and then go send it out for an alignment. We should be good to go. I am loving these things, and I just want to take a quick second to brag on Vivid Racing and VR Forged on their packaging. First off, great looking box, but we know packaging, you know, the looks aren't everything. What is everything is the protection on these bad boys when they get shipped to you. So we've got one box, we've got another box, we've got a layer. I'm trying to do this semi one-handed. Then we've got a bag with foam lips, front and back, with another bag on the inside. So let me see if I can get this out real quick. Okay, gonna yank this bag open. Set it on this tire so I don't scratch it with all this, but look at this. Big old thick foam padding. Ah, that is a good looking wheel right there. Got all four mounted in balance last night, kind of skipped the balancing, that's boring to watch, but these turned out so clean. There's something about a super clean black wheel that just looks so good in the light. That brings us to our next component, and that's gonna be this set of springs from White Line that PRL set us up with. Here's the part number. They should give us about a 0.8 inch drop. Let's go ahead and unbox these bad boys. For some reason, I was expecting these to be yellow, and I was kind of not super happy about that, but I don't know why I thought that. They actually have this like really good looking sparkly silver. And then another thing that's in here is this little tuning guide full of good tips on how to set up your car, what under and oversteer are, that kind of stuff. And then there's like charts for lap times, tire pressures, all the different specs, I guess you would say, that you would want to keep track of if you're competitively driving your car. I'm no race car driver, but it kind of makes me feel like I am one. Pretty cool. So now we just need to dive in, get these tires off, get these springs out. Shouldn't be too bad of a swap. We'll cut to that and then go get this thing aligned, and we should be set up for a pretty sweet weekend with this bad boy. When I started working on European cars, I thought their suspension geometry was complex, but this is a whole new level, and let me show you what I mean. We've got a lower ball joint going from the lower control arm to this sub knuckle thing, which has another ball joint going to your actual knuckle, which comes up to yet another ball joint, upper ball joint there, going to this like strut bracket mount thing that bolts to the strut with these two large bolts. Then off the lower control arm, we still have a not sway bar link that comes over to our strut bracket thing. And then we've got our actual sway bar link going up to the strut. A lot of moving parts here. I've probably done this about the worst way possible. I just kind of dove in thinking I could do it like I always do, sneak out the strut without taking everything apart. Go ahead and judge me. Let me know how I did this wrong, because it's a mess. All right, I'm a little tuckered out, a little frustrated. I gave up on the front for a bit and just went ahead and knocked the rear out just to kind of, you get stuck on something and so frustrated, and then you kind of start getting tunnel vision. You just want to get it done and you're just frustrated. So I went back, knocked the rears out. They weren't too bad. Cleared the old head a little bit. What I was running into on this was I was able to take a few things loose and get the knuckle dropped down enough and tweak it over to get it off the strut. Well, once the new spring was on and I went to put it back in, I could no longer get the strut to rotate down into this like sub bracket knuckle, whatever we want to call this. And it was just binding up. The angles weren't adding up there. So I channeled my inner Paul over at Deutsche Auto Parts and grabbed the old floor jack right there, ran a board up through here, pressed the strut up and compressed the strut, the 2x4 method, put a few bulky zip ties through these holes to hold that strut compressed. And that gave me enough clearance to get this up under and onto it, and honestly didn't work out too bad. Now, really this job needs a ball joint press, something like this, and I don't have one of those. I didn't want to wait till Monday. I ordered one. I got lots of tools, but I've never needed one of those before. First time for everything. Anyways, the rear's done. This front corner's done. One corner to go, get it knocked out. Finally, all wrapped up. Whew. Not a bad job, but a little tough when you don't have the right tools. So it's time. Got our wheels over here. We're gonna mount it up, send it down to the gym, get it aligned, and then you'll be able to see what I'm seeing. And I'm excited. Let's do it. Almost back to the shop. Just picked up the Type R from New Albany Car Services. Jim over there got her aligned really nice for us, and it's looking pretty darn good. Let me pull up to the shop and I'll give you a peek. Well, there it is, guys. What do you think? Looking sweet is what I think. Got a nice solid fitment now, just about flush. Nothing super aggressive, it's not poking out, but very practical. No rubbing, no scraping, no clearancing, no fender rolling, nothing like that. And look at these DO3Rs. Huge thank you to Vivid Racing and VR Forged for setting us up with those wheels. Also a big thank you to PRL Motorsports for setting us up with those white line springs. I think this may settle down just a little bit more. I was too impatient to wait on the springs to settle. I wanted to get it aligned and go drive it tonight. So just really liking how this looks. This car is coming together great. Be on the lookout for more content coming your way on this car. We've got that huge pile of parts from PRL Motorsports to make some power. We want to get it out, drive it, maybe go to a few events. I'd like to take it to Tail of the Dragon later this year. That'd be awesome. But anyways, we always appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.